examine. I speak the truth, I'm a realist. I ain't just dedicated, I'm committed. Pull up white polo T-palm, Angel Sweat, VVS baguette. They know our next. Lockdown 23 hours, 1 hour wreck. Look at me now, everything.
Welcome to STWF Studios, y'all. Welcome to Slaughta Wednesday. It is hump day for real. Today was one of those days, boy, I woke up, everything I did over the weekend, working at the stockyards, everything, I felt it this morning. Boy, I woke up thinking of reasons to call into the studio, bro. I ain't gonna be able to make it today. But then I started really thinking about it. There's been times where I've had 4 or 5 hours watching YouTube at home, watching Netflix. Sometimes people, it's a time for everything. Today it was time to pay the piper. This weekend, when I went out and made that extra bread, sometimes, y'all, you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. It's time to man up. Boy, the weather gloomy, raining. I felt like I didn't sleep a wink last night, and I went to bed at a pretty decent time. Some days, people, you're not going to always feel it. So as the saying goes, you got to do it when you feel it. You got to do it when you don't feel it. You got to do it. You got to stay consistent. Speaking of consistency, just checking in with y'all. How are y'all doing so far in this new year? How are you doing so far in this new year? It is already, what are we like, 8 days into February. January is gone. We got 20 days left in February. People. Self, definitely talking to self. Time waits for no man. Time does not play. Time management, time management, time management. How are you using the time that you're blessed with? There's people that I know personally who's got a lot of time to do, a lot of time before they even get a chance to get back out here and get on their grind. So for those of us who was blessed with the time to do it, how are you using your time? Hey, most of us, I'm sure, has fallen short somewhere on our New Year's goals. For those who haven't, salute you. Stay strong. Keep each other encouraged. So speaking of goals, and this awesome year 2023, Slaughta season to me, I want to talk about a lot of the things that I see that people are doing wrong. It's been going on for years, not just this year. Intensity before consistency. Some people who want to get in shape, one of my partners, a guy I know through passing, he's an artist named Committed. He's hit me up to get in shape. He's got a, we're calling his operation Dreads and Shreds. Dude is growing his dreads out. He want to have this banging body. He pretty much is reinventing himself before he dropped his album. I like that concept. I've been really meaning to reach out to artists and like, hey, you want to get in shape for your music video? Hit me up. You want to get in shape so you can wreck that stage without huffing and puffing? Hit me up. You want to just take your shirt off during the summer while you're performing on stage? Hit me up so we can get you right. I like to help everybody, but artists, I can relate to what it takes to be on that stage, what it takes to be able to move around and jump around and still keep your breath. So, I encourage everybody to set a goal. But this guy Committed, he's telling me that he wants to work out 7 days a week. No, he needs 7. And I know better than that. I've been training for years. More is not always more, people. Sometimes less is more. You got to have consistency before intensity. I see some people trying to do too much too fast. When you're working out, you're not building your body. When you're working out, you're tearing your body down. During the rest and recuperation stage, that is when the body repairs itself. So this guy's telling me, a master trainer for over 20, 30 years, no. I'm telling them we'll probably start off with 3 days a week, then eventually go to 5 on, 2 off, 3 on, 1 off. He's like, no, I need 7. I need all 7. That's not how it works, people. Just by working out every day, Dorian Yates, one of the biggest bodybuilders in the world, would work out 3 or 4 days out of the week, period. But he worked out so hard and so intense, he would use those other days to recover. Work-rest ratio, people. Make sure that you are working, but if you're not resting, you're not repairing, you're not growing. Because again, don't forget, when you're working out, you're actually tearing your body down. You're not building it up. That's how it works. You tear the body down, create lactic acid, create microscopic tears. Once those muscles start to heal, they come back with a little extra concrete, a little extra, muscle fibers. That's exactly how it works. So doing too much too fast is a common mistake made in the gym. Ego lifting, most people think the more you lift, the bigger you're gonna get. As a matter of fact, people that lift real heavy, one thing I've noticed, if a person has got quite a bit of body fat and he's lifting very heavy, he's gonna get stronger with quite a bit of body fat. If a dude is real skinny and he starts lifting pretty heavy, he's gonna get a little layer of thick muscle on him, but he's still gonna be a small dude. Heavy weight does not automatically build big muscle. For most people, it don't. Everybody's body's different. But high reps, 10 to 12 reps that are challenging, that's gonna get you yoked. When you're doing sets of 3 and sets of 5, football players do that, and football players don't look like bodybuilders. Some of them look pretty good, but they do more than just sets of 5. They do sprints, running, all kinds of stuff. But that's another common mistake made, thinking the heavier you lift, the bigger you're gonna get. Now, you will get more strength lifting heavy, but you also run a risk of more injury and a lot of tendon and joint pain from lifting heavy all the time. So that's something that I feel like a lot of people do wrong. Some of the mistakes I see trainers making, if you've got an overweight client that's out of shape, they shouldn't be doing jumping jacks, period. They should not be jumping. Their joints are taking a beating. But definitely shouldn't be jumping with dumbbells in their hands. Stuff like that is amateur training. It's very rookie. It's like, that's caveman stuff. If you've got any sports science, if you've gotten a real certification, if you've been educated at any point, you're gonna know you don't take someone who has just been sitting on the couch and have them jumping, period. Definitely not jumping with dumbbells. People, do not get out there and try to get in shape and start jumping with weights. That's gonna be bad for your lower back, your ankles, your knees, the bones in your feet, your patella tendon, everything. Everything about that's wrong. So that's a mistake I see made all the time in the gym. What's another mistake I see made? People squatting. I've seen some very established trainers having their people squatting, leading with their knees like they're gonna pray, squatting like that. When you squat, you stick that butt back, boom, knees behind the toes. It's very important. Cookie cutter. I've seen trainers have someone that's getting ready for a bodybuilding show, someone who just wants to lose 20 pounds, someone who's never worked out a day in their life, and they all doing the same routine. They all jumping over benches, they all doing this and that. Everybody's body's different. You will find out some because of genetics, some because of medical history, could have been banged up from years of athletics, years of running track, playing football, soccer, basketball, where you've accumulated some scar tissue, or you might have even had certain surgeries where you can't squat real heavy weight. You can't do a lot of leg extensions or leg curls. It's very important that your trainer personalized routines for you. You cannot prepare for boxing training like a bodybuilder. You cannot prepare for bodybuilding training like a boxer. You cannot prepare for bodybuilding training like a powerlifter. Ronnie Coleman and a couple other people made it real popular for bodybuilders to lift real, real heavy. And we see the conditions Ronnie in right now. He said he don't regret it. Hey, I feel him. The man won 8 Mr. Olympians. He's still a great guy, tough dude, tough mind. But bodybuilders never, you don't have to squat 800 pounds to build a champion physique. You just don't. If you look at Lee Haney, he won 8 Mr. Olympians. That man can still walk just fine. Schwarzenegger's still moving around better than Ronnie Coleman, and he's not twice his age, he's quite a bit older. So we've got into this, on one hand, you got a soft generation that ain't working hard enough. On the other, end of the spectrum. You got this new, there's no such thing as overtraining, no days off, blah, 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 blah. People, there is a such thing as overtraining. I love my man C.T. Fletcher. Yes, there is, especially if you're new to working out. If you're not new to working out, bodybuilders back in the 80s and 90s, I would read magazines, how when they was working out 6 days a week with everything they had, they plateaued. When they started working out 3 days on, 1 day off, working out 4 days, taking a day off, coming back on the 5th day, when they would work out 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week, they actually started getting bigger and stronger. People, don't just listen to what sounds good. You gotta do the due diligence. You gotta see what works for you. Especially, not only if you're a beginning weightlifter, but if you a natty daddy like me, if you've never done roids and you trying to follow a routine off a person that's doing roids or PED, performance enhancing drugs, their recovery time, first of all, is gonna be quadruple the time. They're gonna recover real quick. They got the roids to help them recover. There's always a price to pay. A lot of people, I knew a gentleman, I won't say his name, a very nice dude, who's helped so many people out. He was manufacturing and making his own roids. And I'm like, man, bro, you don't, I'm just, me and him, we talking man to man. And I'm like, I've heard of guys getting on roids and they're women, like, even with Viagra, they can't get a full erection because of roids. Without Viagra, they don't stand a chance. They've blown their testosterone production out of the water. Their body don't produce testosterone no more because they introduced it synthetically. So people, if you feel like it's not fair, man, I want to get on roids to keep up with this person, that person. If you're a competitive bodybuilder and that's your goal and dreams, hello, roids is a part of your future. You kick ass in bodybuilding. You will not make it to a high level in bodybuilding without steroids, period. I promote being natural. I am natural. It would be great if they had natural shows that got half the recognition of these open shows, I'll call them. It would be great if natural athletes could get the sponsorship and the money that these roid heads are getting. Or these, roid head sounds bad, but you know what I mean. These bodybuilders that are doing what they have to do to keep up with the competition. We just live in a world where if you bodybuilding and if you natural, you're not gonna get the same recognition because bodybuilding was created for the awe effect. Oh my God, look at him. And you can't really become a monster being natural. You just can't. If we were meant to be 300 pounds full of muscle, we would be born like that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about the mistakes I see at the gym all the time. One of the biggest mistakes, people socializing at the gym. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, period. Especially if it affects me. If it don't affect me, hey, do your thing. But sometimes it's distracting to me to just see somebody talking 20 minutes instead of working out. Of course, I don't focus on them doing my thing. If they right by me talking this and that, I'll move away from them. So people socializing in the gym. If you want to get in shape, people, if you want to really build that summer body, you are supposed to rest 30 to 60 seconds between sets. If you powerlifting and, whoa, thunder and lightning out there. If you powerlifting and pulling some significant weight, your rest period should be 3 to 4 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. That's totally different. But when you're trying to really, really tear that muscle down and really make that muscle pop and look a certain way, 30 to 60 seconds of rest between sets, which means you might have to break the weight down a little bit for the quality. You might not be able to lift as heavy. In fact, you shouldn't if you're trying to build a championship physique. That's totally different. Not having a mind-body connection. You on the squat rack thinking about getting your transmission fixed. You on the curls thinking about one of your ex-girlfriends. You should go in hot, you should go in motivated, you should go in focused. You should only think about things that pertain to your goal when you're training. Training is not just physical. In fact, it's more mental than physical. Where is your mind at when you're driving to the gym? On your way to the gym, you should be conjuring up that energy. You should be getting into your own. You should be getting into your own, thinking about what you want to do, how you want to look, beginning with the end in mind, all of that, driving to the gym. If you can, have on some crunk music that make you want to rip the doors off the car. Once you get to the gym, hey, what's up, cool, speak, whatever. Avoid, I see people get to the gym ready to work out and stop and have a 20-minute conversation. I cannot train like that. Most people that know me, I've said this before, I'm somewhere minding my business, training hard. In between sets, or I'm not working out, I can be a little clown, I can have a little fun and this and that. But when I'm training, I've had to tell people so many times just recently, hey bro, I'm in my zone, the switch is on. People just want to pop up and have conversations. Not everybody is dead serious about this. Some trainers are in it just because it's easy, just because they can sit down and tell people what to do. They not really into it like I am. They don't have the same level of commitment. So of course they can try to talk to everybody, try to be everything to everybody. A very focused person on a mission, if you really focused on a mission, you don't want to be everything to everybody. You an eagle, you want to fly with the eagles. You a lion, you want to work out with the lions. You a dog, you want to hang out with the dogs. So I'm just a solitary hunter. I'm a solo dolo dude. I do my own thing and I train and stay in my own lane. But in my lane, I try to hog every inch of it. Let me be the best version of myself and I'm not gonna worry about nobody else. So people, take your time and build a foundation. Quit putting intensity over consistency. You must be consistent first. Once you've been consistent for a while, then you can start doing the drop sets, the burnouts. Then you can start piling some weight on the bar. But don't come out the gates like that. That's like putting a heavy, heavy house on a wet foundation. It's gonna sink. The foundation has to be dry. It has to be solid. It must be solidified. So make sure you're doing the same thing in your workout routines, people. Take your time and build it brick by brick. Lay a good foundation. Nutrition. Most people know some people are still thinking they can eat what they want and just work it off and go do extra cardio. It does not work like that. You need the right fuel to drive yourself. Putting sugar in your body and thinking you can work it out, it's almost like putting sugar in your gas tank and thinking it's just gonna burn itself out. It's gonna do some damage. I don't care how much running you do, how much push-ups or sit-ups you do. If you're eating refined sugars, if you're eating a lot of starchy food, fried foods, you are not just gonna simply be able to go out there and run for hours and get it off. It don't work like that. But I know this dude, Mike Jenkins, and he eats what he wants to. There's very, very, I'm gonna say about 2 to 3% of our population, they have bodies where if they eat pizza, they ripped and cut. If they eat ice cream and hamburgers, Stephen Marino from Metroflex Gym, one of the trainers and managers there, we have literally seen a dude eating ice cream and donuts and he can lift up his shirt and look like he's chiseled out of stone. There are people like that, people. Most of us don't have those genetics. That's another thing. People follow someone else's routine thinking they're gonna get the same results when this person had Mike Tyson genetics. He was kind of short, swollen, stocky before he touched weights. So once he started lifting weights, of course he gonna blow up and look like a muscle-bound ape. That doesn't mean you gonna be able to do that. If your grandfather was skinny, your mother skinny, brother skinny, if you come from a family of small people and small frame, that doesn't mean you can't maximize what you have, but you can't automatically jump up under some weight and look like Ronnie Coleman because you tried to follow his routine. So you must educate yourself on what your goals are, how to train to reach those goals. And then there's a point where, yes, I believe in being optimistic, but you must also be realistic. If I'm a dude that's 4'3", 110 pounds, 9 times out of 10, I'm never going to be no 300-pound bodybuilder with solid muscle. Maybe I can be a running back, a halfback or something, but it's okay, people, to dream big. And if you want to do it and if you find joy doing it, I would never talk anybody out of it. I know a guy right now that's been sleeping in the Metroflex parking lot for years. He has a goal to be a bodybuilder. Dude about 6'6", long limbs, looking more like a basketball player. I told him straight up, bro, if that's what you want to do it. He would literally have to fuck his body up, literally, to almost be able to compete as a bodybuilder. He would. He would have to trash his body, overeating with food. He would have to stack the cycles of roids. He would have to literally kill himself and still wouldn't. In my opinion, I've been studying bodybuilding for a while. I think if this man literally killed himself, he still would make the top 10, the top 20. He probably would never even make the Olympia. But that's his goal. His goal is to be a bodybuilder. Genetically, he should be a basketball player. He should run track. It's almost like, let's flip it on the other end. Let's go back to Mike Tyson's genetic. Let's say there's a dude that's 5'9", 5'10", 225 and real stocky, but he wants to be a NBA player. Bro, you so stocky, maybe you should do more running and less weightlifting. You already stocky. That's going to be wear and tear on your body running up and down that court. Muscle is oxygenated. Someone with Mike Tyson's genetics, short, stocky, and built, 9 times out of 10, he shouldn't be doing hurdles. He shouldn't be running hurdles, or he shouldn't be doing high jumping or long jumping. He should do something more geared to his strengths, geared towards power. And what happens is we turn on, we get on YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook, or whatever, and we see videos of Ronnie Coleman, videos of Schwarzenegger, videos of our favorite rapper, and bam, we want to jump out there and do it. If you've got the talent and the skill and the will, if you've got the will, you can do just about anything. Not everything is for everybody, people. Be honest with yourself. Learn what kind of body type you have. Look at other bodybuilders, me, Sean Ray, Rich Kaspari. Bodybuilders like that, I was realistic. I was a shorter dude, especially in my youth, with big old legs, and everything developed good on me. I didn't have no real weaknesses. Never had really good biceps. My older brother, he was taller, broader shoulders, had a V shape. When he threw his biceps up, he had a double peak. He could have definitely been Mr. Olympia. I would have been like a Sean Ray or a Rich Kaspari. With my drive and hunger, I would have beat guys with better genetics, but I don't know if I ever would have won the top prize. You know, and of course, I would have had to been roided up to even think about reaching the level of a Rich Kaspari or Sean Ray. So that's all I got for y'all today on this Slaughta Wednesday. Optimistic is one thing, being realistic is another. Make sure, people, that you educate yourself on this process before you don't just go through the motions thinking, I'm gonna get there just from lifting weights. You have to be very specific, very deliberate in your pursuit of whatever your goals are. You cannot just half step to it. So people, thank y'all for tuning in to STWF Studios on this Slaughta Wednesday. Again, people, we already into February. People, let's get it. Time is flying. Before y'all know it, it'll be June and July. What you do this winter is gonna show this summer.
Slaughta FiT, a master at work.
How you doing, brother?
Impressive.
Thank you.
Over to get it, just get it. Ain't just on me, it's in me. I speak the truth, I'm a realist. I ain't just dedicated, I'm committed. Pull up white polo T-palm, ain't just sweat VVS.